Hello to part 12 of this. So, interesting little tidbit to mention about this next part. It's actually one of the parts where basically it'll change slightly based on if you have these two people with you. And oddly enough, if you change their class, they actually will not show up. So like she mentions there, basically she would just get the normal soldier sprite if I changed her to it. And seeing as she doesn't technically have the requirements to be her current class, she would not be able to change back. And until you do change them back into what they're supposed to be, they count as not existing.
Find it out.
So, like this one, for example, if you don't have Ivana there, she is the one who usually starts the dialogue. It'll be the ninja guy instead. And if he's not there, this guy just talks to himself. Guess he just loses his mind from nobody actually helping him on his so far directionless journey here. Yeah, clearly these guys are being very diplomatic in their approach here. Especially with the guy that wants to eat the person that's supposed to give them directions. Clearly the right people were chosen for the job. So I'm going to have these guys over here, kind of in the front, and the rest will snipe from this little shore area. This one's fairly trivial, not a whole lot happens. At least not most of the time, anyway. Not a whole lot of threats, since she usually tends to drag everyone into the water. And then from there, it's usually that priest who's the leader, who's hiding in the corner. So she's the first of that class that's around so far. Basically, they get a bonus for being in the water. As you can see by that foot icon there on the right. Essentially, that just states what kind of footing bonus they get and how they move in general. Let's see, a couple of things also that weren't mentioned much is there on the right you also see some more icons, and those just state general bonuses that are around in that particular land type. Like the water will help water and hurt fire, obviously. Most of them are going to be like this, where they essentially give a 5 to 15 bonus for everything. And each one will also have some variation of their physical and general magic abilities based on what's around on that square there. Some are inaccessible like those, sharp rocks. But that's enough about that. No, wrong button. And the other side is mostly melee units, and as such, they will primarily be camped out in the water. This is one of the ones that it makes sense to kill all of them. Not this guy, but yeah, this guy. That armor that he has is what he always drops, and it is a big bonus at this point. It also is pretty useful for hiring archers right off the bat, because then they don't need their emblem, and usually they're close enough to the level that they need to be that you can technically just hire them. since because of self-appointed arbitrary rules, can't hire anyone and keep them on as a different class, because this is after the first fight. Oh, and I don't think there's any way at this point to get past this part without having her get damaged at all. Although I doubt it would really change anything. Seems like something that would be way too difficult to accomplish. To actually bother having anything scripted in. Now, even though this particular mermaid there really is kind of garbage at this point, the ones in the next fight won't be. And I remember as a kid when I first got this, that was probably one of the most difficult parts. I had to go over it over and over again because I kept losing a bunch of people. And that's because, as it'll show any second now, they can put your units to sleep. Is just generally unpleasant. Something also that I actually mentioned wrong earlier, as far as these emblems go. This one over here is actually the one that gives any type of bonus. The other one was actually just an instant level up. So that was not what I was going for. The one I was thinking of is for having one character get 25 kills, which they will. Soon enough. It's probably not worth it, but hopefully it'll block it. Nope. But he got a shiny new emblem, so why not? Hopefully I can drag them into the water. Not entirely sure how you would block an arrow with an axe from that range, but he pulled it off, so anyhow, more shooting. Also, thanks to these bows, they finally are doing some almost reasonable damage here. Within probably the next 2 to 3 turns, hoping to get both those axe guys and at least one knight out of the way. Yep, that axe guy there probably just screwed himself. Yep, he definitely screwed himself. That knight also screwed himself, so that's very lucky. Something else of note is the reason I gave those spears to those guys, even though they weren't particularly good with them, nor the spears themselves very good, is because coming up relatively soon, everyone will be equipped with spears in the next fight. And again, just kind of due to the arbitrary terms that I came up with for this challenge type of deal, I'm not going back to any towns, so it'll be useful for countering those people with spears. I was hoping to at least acquire one somewhat from one of the loot drops, but that didn't quite happen. She's almost dead, but should be fine. Who needs a kill? And she needs a kill. I'll just take the guy out, and done. So next is going to be to take out this guy in the water, which gives them a lot of severe penalties, which is good. They can't block as well, they can't move as well, and they can't attack as well. So it's just convenient overall. So 19 to hit that guy. Gonna hit him for a little bit, but now he'll just counter stab. So it's a nice tactic to use. And as long as he doesn't get sniped inexplicably from the archers on the other side of the map, should be well and good. Might even drag that other guy into the water, which would be great. With any luck, this should also get that axe guy to not go after him, because no, actually that's not the item that's needed, so he can go ahead and grab it, I don't care. Now, hopefully that mermaid will just crawl onto land, and that'll take care of any problems going on with those archers. He's probably going to heal up that knight there. Now, the AI is usually pretty predictable. It tends to follow specific patterns. Just because, from the amount of abilities available, I guess it doesn't have to be very complex. Nonetheless, it does tend to be kind of difficult when you get situations in which whatever people you're fighting against are in horribly better positions. Also, that was lucky, because he might have just died there.